Okay, so making good progress, probably worth having a little recap. What we've been able to do so far, get rid of the old sort of degenerate spine material to get back to a layer of 19th century cardboard that's infused with glue and which is stuck hard down onto the text block surface itself, and it's been set with a very thick layer of clear glue that's sort of underneath all of this. We've got both boards separated, and what we've done is we have drilled these triples of holes at 2-inch intervals. So that's going to be the foundation of 6 raised ribs ultimately, and that'll be how we attach the boards to the box. You can see the effect's a little rough at the moment, so I'll be sort of just going like this just to sort of flatten it down a little bit, and on the underside it's kind of the same thing. So I'm just going to pick away at this and just make sure that they're as flat as possible. Eventually this section here is going to be covered by a strip of fabric and then obviously paper. This side is going to have some cardboard around it, but then eventually this will be covered by a nice section of this leather that we're going to reback with, and that will look very nice when all is said and done. So we're ready to sort of think about how we're going to secure the raised ribs to the spine, given that because we have this layer here that we don't want to disrupt, there's actually not going to be a direct linkage between the ribs that attach the board and the underlying threading that's actually used to hold the folio in place. So because of that, normally what I'd be doing is using a nice great big piece of fabric that would go over the twine that's been stitched alongside or attached to the text block itself. We don't have that luxury here, so we're still going to use fabric, but I think what we're going to have to do is to really make sure that this fabric is very, very well anchored to the twine. So when we glue it down, it really does become one unit together with this spine here. So what I did with the fabric was I marked on it, just with a bit of pen here, hopefully you can see the underlying locations of where the holes of the boards are. And that's important because obviously when the fabric's attached, it's going to basically fold up like this and be glued down and trimmed obviously a little bit. And I've done the same on the other side, and then just sort of loosely sort of drawn between them so I know where I'm aiming for. Now you'll notice that this is quite a wrinkly sort of piece of fabric. I haven't gone to any great effort to sort of really pull it taut or iron it to get a very sort of tight measurement. That's deliberate because this is going to be glued down and we have to account for the actual width of the twine itself. So we want the glue to be doing the work, as it were. So question is, how are we going to attach the twine to the fabric? Now, one thing I did obtain was this set of needles here. I got it from Michael's, and this is, I'm actually selecting this needle here. I have to say this is without doubt the most brutal needle I've ever seen. So if you're afraid of needles, be very afraid of this. And I've threaded it with the twine itself through, again, the biggest eye you'll ever see on a needle right there. So what I'm going to attempt to do here, and I think this is probably going to be the best way to do it, is I'm going to, let's see if we can do this here. I'm actually going to, just to make life easy on myself, I'm going to fold it in waves. Let's just see here. Let's do it here, and here, and here, like so. And what I'm going to do is, let's try that again. So that's one, two, doesn't need to be immensely accurate, but there we go. I think that'll do. Like this. So what I'm going to do is, you can see I've gathered like this here all together. I'm simply going to take this needle and go straight through, like so. Now this has a very sort of splayed out sort of tip, which is actually helpful because it's got to get this knot through. So I'm going to actually probably rip the fabric a little bit to pull the knot through. That is not a problem. We'll just make the hole a little bit bigger at this point. There we go. All right. So what we end up with is something that looks like this. So this is how the actual thread, it's going to have the fabric going over and under and over and under. And this is how I'm actually going to glue it down on the book, like so. And the result hopefully is going to be, and I'm probably going to have another couple of goes at this, but the result's going to hopefully be just an additional piece of strength that really ties in the twine with the fabric, all held together with an awful lot of glue. So the next step is we're going to do this for all 6 and then be in a position to glue everything down nicely.